guys, good morning and welcome to our very first 5 for 5 workshop. We are super excited to be hosting the 5 for 5 workshops on a monthly basis. This is the first month we host them, so hopefully we get people excited to bring paper to life and make amazing happen. It is Christmas week, so we want to wish you all an amazing blessed holiday. May you celebrate with your family. May you enjoy cozy gatherings by the fire or the TV or whatever it is that makes your family special or connect. And we're so excited that you decided to join us for our 5 for 5 workshop. We're using Yeti Cheer, and you should have received your email yesterday that kind of indicated a couple of things that you needed to gather. So we're using in our case, we're using our sweet cane cardstock, our black taffy cardstock, our powdered sugar cardstock. We are using sweet cane ink because it's matching our cardstock. And we've printed 2 of the Yeti Cheer files. So totally, completely up to you guys how you want to, go about the actual workshop, whether you want to use different colors, whether you want to color your images. We're creating a total of 5 projects today, and I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use my scan and cut to cut out all my images just to help me with time. But they're super easy cuts. If you're cutting them out by hand too, you can certainly do that. Now, in your email, you should have received not just the Yeti Cheer digital download in a PDF form, but you should have also received it in an outline version as well as an SVG. So for those of you who like playing with SVGs, resizing them, well then by all means create a way. And if you do have a scan and cut, that's what the outline version is for. In case you're brand new to us and you're like, why does this have an outline around every image? Well, that's because we made it easy for people who have a scan and cut for the scan and cut to be able to identify the cut line. So hopefully that makes sense, and let's get to it. So I've got 2 versions of my Yeti Cheers printed. One is in our sweet cane and the other one is in powdered sugar. And again, guys, we didn't print out the outline version for this, mainly because everything is pretty much outlined already because of the way the designs are. The only things that are not are going to be the sentiments, but I purposely created them all to go on the very top so I can just cut them out like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. How is everybody doing this beautiful December 21st morning? I realize some of you guys might be catching the replay. This is also a good thing to do Christmas weekend. If you want to create some projects and just have some fun, you certainly can do that. Maybe use these for scrapbooking instead of card making, since now you'll have some amazing memories to scrapbook. All right, guys, I'm just making some space here for me.
You do have this morning Helen Smith.
Hi, Helen.
Patricia on here.
Merry Christmas, Helen. Merry Christmas, Patricia. How are you guys doing? Are you guys ready for the weekend? With the family? All right, so I'm just preparing my scan and cut here to cut out all of my images. I had some repositionable tape pasta. Or painter's tape I usually use.
We might have.
Alright guys, so I typically like to add a little bit of painter's tape to my mat, because I don't know that I trust it and I don't want it to move out of place. I also sometimes like to see how I created a little grid on this at the bottom, in case I want to that's only in case I want to cut out the same image without the printed image on there. So that usually kind of works for me too. So I'm going to just go ahead and add a little bit of painter's tape just to make sure it doesn't move around on me. Again, I don't need the outline version for this one, mainly because every single image is a solid shape. Sometimes images are not a solid shape, and that's when an outline image is so important.
Helen Smith, she says, just watching today. For some reason, they expect me to work for my pay.
How are you doing, Helen? I'm so excited that you're here with us today. I don't think we ever get the privilege of having you.
Merry Christmas to you and your family from Helen.
Oh, thank you so much, Helen. All right, so my image is scanned in. I'm just going to zoom in here to kind of close in on where I want the cuts to be. That sounds about right. And then because I don't have an outline, I'm actually, instead of going negative, I'm going to go positive. So I'm going to go positive. Let's go positive just 0.4. That'll do it. We're going to cut. And we're going to do the same thing to the sweet cane cardstock. Now, because this is an actual 5x5 workshop, I'm going to cut all my layers on the spot. So just kind of bear with me. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to remove the repositionable or painter's tape. You can also use like a sturdier washi tape if you prefer. And now, ta-da! We've got all of our images cut out.
That was fast cutting.
That was some fast cutting there.
We have Cindy Kurtz here joining
Hi,
us.
Cindy. So we're going to do this one more time with our sweet cane. If you have a brand new mat, you don't have to do this. I just get a little paranoid. So I do it anyway because my cardstock's a little bit thicker than like regular paper. And so that's part of the reason why I do it. Because I feel like, well, it's so much easier to, for it to lift versus if it's paper, it'll hold on to it a little bit more. So just for the record.
That's why you're putting
Yeah.
paper safe on there.
Got a few left over here, so I'm just gonna go ahead.
That's so funny. Patricia, she's saying that her machine and your machine are cutting at the same time.
Oh,
So Anne came in to see what's all that noise. So her machine's making noise, your machine's making noise. Like, what is going on?
it's a noisy Monday.
It's nice how we can have a top view of you too.
Sorry about that. I'm just setting up my machine to cut away. All right, so while that's cutting, we're gonna go ahead and grab an 8.5 by 11, and we're gonna cut that in half at 4 1/4 to create our card base for one of the cards. We're then gonna do the same to a powdered sugar at 5 1/2 though. And then I have a couple of different layers. So we're gonna go a little shorter. I have a piece of black, 8.5 by 11 in black taffy. And I wanna go to 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. I now want to bring that additional piece of sweet cane, and I'm gonna go 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. So that is the layer that's gonna go inside my black taffy and over onto my powdered sugar. So those are the layers for card 1. Now we want the layers for card 2. Oops. All right, so we should be done cutting here. Let's go ahead and remove. So cute. These are so easy to cut on the Scan and Cut, mainly because they're pretty much solid shapes. The ones that are harder to cut on a Scan and Cut are the ones that are not so solid. So, for example, if it's a rose that doesn't completely close, or any type of image that doesn't completely close, just get a little trickier to cut. All right, so we have card 1 cut. Now what we want to do is we want to cut a piece of black taffy. And we're going to do that at, let's see if this is long enough. It's not. So we're going to grab a scrap again. So we want to go to 5 1/2 by 2 inches, okay? That's going to go here. Now we want a scrap of powdered sugar. Also 5.5. Perfect. By 1 3/4. That's going to give us the strip down the center that we want on our third card. On our second card. We're then going to want to grab some tags or some strips of the leftover black taffy that we have. And we're going to create 3 different tags. So we're going to go to 2 1/4. So that'll be tag 1, tag 2. That one's a little short, but we're gonna go here. Just some scraps that we have. And tag 3. So we've got 3 different tags here. And the rest will just kind of paper piece as we go along. These cards are a little different, mainly because you guys didn't get a kit in the mail, so I tried to cut everything during the... I must need to change my blade. During the workshop so that you guys can see the process. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in our scoring tool. Let's grab our scoring tool. And we're going to go ahead and score our card bases. 5.5 on the vertical card. And 4 1/4 on the horizontal card. I do like to score them on both sides.
Patricia says she missed the measurements, if you don't mind repeating that.
For which?
I'm going to say that for when you're working on.
All right, so this is a horizontal card. So our horizontal card is a powdered sugar card base. And we have 2 different layers. So I did go a little bit tighter on this layer. So what that means is that I am at 4 3/4 by 3.5 inches on my black taffy rectangle. And then the inside layer of that is going to be at 4.5 by 3 1/4. So that's what creates that layer. And then it goes like this. That is for the horizontal card.
It says the base on the first one.
Yeah. The base is our regular horizontal card. So that means 5.5 by 4 1/4. Sorry, 8.5 by 5.5. That's what I meant. Once you score it, it's 5.5 by 4 1/4. So that's the regular card, A2 card. And then the other one is the vertical. And the 2 strips are 2 by 5.5 and 1 3/4 by 5.5.
Zuckerman just joined us.
Zuckerman. All right, guys, we're going to use the paint rings stamp to add some paint rings to mimic some snow onto. We're going to do tone on tone. So we're going to grab our sweet cane layer, and we're going to stamp using sweet cane ink. Now, if you're using a different color, then obviously you just might want to do tone on tone, or you can even go be so bold and use a powdered sugar or white craft ink that you might have. Beautiful. I love it. So this will get layered onto here for that gorgeous background. Perfect for our Yeti. We want to do the same thing to our card base, our vertical card base. Let's just make sure we have a really straight, so it's not trying to pop up on us.
Andrea's like, I keep forgetting that you guys are an hour later.
Oh, I know. I kind of figured that might have happened today. For most peeps.
I know, we're like still trying to get used to.
I'm like, where's everybody
time.
at? And I'm like, well,
They're still sleeping. It's still early for them.
I'm like, I think it's a
on the
time
West Coast.
change. Yeah. So we're gonna do this in halfsies to cover our entire background. It's so funny. Sorry guys, I have to kind of see where I'm at. I was on the phone the other day and oh my gosh, so I'm making my Christmas cards, right? And I was trying to get some results. I did some labs at the clinic and I was trying to get some results and I was trying to finish my Christmas card. So I am like going, you know, on my stamp and they're like, sorry, I can't hear you, sir. All I hear is knocking in the background. I'm like, oh, you must now be a crafter. Can't tell the difference between rubber stamping and knocking on the door.
They don't stop. I'm just kidding.
So funny. I was like, oh, actually, that is the sound of ink, an ink pad hitting a red rubber stamp. If it was a polymer stamp, it would be a completely different sound. All right, guys, super cool backgrounds that we've created here using our paint rings. Love it.
Oh, awesome. Corinne Ledesma's on here.
Corinne, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Finally, I got to watch a live.
I know, I'm so excited. And I bet you were sleeping like suckermen because you guys are an hour behind us now. I was so excited. So I love all my peeps. And Corinne celebrated a birthday recently. And it was so much fun to see.
So
Did you
cute,
see the video? Oh, my
That
heart
was
was
so
just
cute.
so full. Having, you know, Californians, they're a little weird. So they were doing their parade. They're like, I think it has a name. Can't remember what it is.
It's like a parade.
It's like a car parade or like a, you know, for her birthday, and it's just kind of cute. I was like, oh, I loved seeing that. Thanks for sharing it. Made my heart happy. All right, so we adhered these 2 layers together, and we're gonna bring them onto. I keep getting stuck. We're gonna go ahead and layer them onto our card base. Make sure that it opens correctly, and we're just gonna set that down the center. It's a little off. So super simple. I love the monochromatic um, idea of this card. I don't know that I want to challenge myself to always create a monochromatic 5 for 5 because that would be a big challenge, but I loved it for this particular project. So super cute. And then when in doubt,
Pop it out.
we're gonna pop that guy right out.
Jody Miller's on here saying hello.
Hi, Jody. So cute, guys. Look how cute that is. So we've got our 2-card bases ready to embellish. All right, but before we do that, we're going to come back and we're going to grab our tag here. So we have a tag, and I'm just going to mimic my tag cuts from here. I actually don't have. Can you give me? I have my tag template, those little cardboard ones. Actually, these all are particular. Let me make sure what that is. So they're all 4. I'm going to trim them. They're all 4 1/4 long. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Because I was just using scraps. So 4 1/4. That means that all these tags, and of course you can make your tags whatever you want. So 2 1/4 by 4 1/4.
I think I did put a measurement on there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I had said, what did I say? I said 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. That's what I said. Was that kind of what you said or no?
Yeah. We need 1 1/2. I'm going to grab a scrap of powdered sugar. So 1 1/2 by 2. Because one of the tags has a little strip like this. Okay.
Cindy has a question. Will you be working with Sweet Nacho more this week?
Not this week, but I definitely will be working more with Sweet Nacho. Definitely not this week because I haven't even decided what stamp I'm promoting this. Okay, I have this like tag template that I have for myself, and I'm just gonna cut the edges. But if you have like, some people have a tag punch that is a cutter. So I just go all the way to the top.
Just to help you get the straight.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna do that this week, but so lately what we've been doing on our regular feed is we have been choosing one stamp set or one stamp set to feature. Sometimes I might combine that with other stamp sets, but one stamp set that we actually feature, and then we create projects with that all week long. And so so it's been super fun to do that. We've now done that for 2 weeks. And I have not selected the stamp set for this week yet. Yeah, my bigger one. I'm just gonna use this one for now. The black one.
Oh, the big one.
Yeah. Excuse me. And so I haven't selected this one yet, because maybe that one more like in January as we get closer to Valentine's Day would be great. All right, so we have our tags cut out now and our 2 cards ready to go. I feel like I keep pushing my table, guys. I'm so sorry. All right, so now we have all of our yummy cutouts that we did for this particular class. Thank you so much. I wanted to make sure I grabbed to cut a little bigger hole here. Perfect. Okay, so we have all these cutie patootie elements, but let's go ahead and start with our cards. Move our tags out of the way. We're going to go ahead and grab our landscape card, horizontal, whichever way you want to identify it. And I'm looking for some of the pieces that I want to add to this. I'm going to grab that smaller cloud, the moon. I love the idea of mixing and matching the various different pieces, some in powdered sugar, some in our sweet cane. Like, it really adds a nice little touch. We're gonna add our tree. I'm actually looking for the bigger tree. Let me add the biggest tree here. Then we're gonna bring in and the little stubby chubby one. So cute. And we're going to grab our little wolf. So when in doubt, we're going to pop all of these guys out just to create this fun scene that we're building here. And just layer them accordingly to how much space you might have, or just try to fill in the gaps. What I love about this project is that it has a little bit of a masculine element. And it could just be a really cool card to send someone all winter long, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be Christmas. It could just be, you know, if somebody went camping, if somebody is just feeling that holiday cheer, that vibe. And now we're gonna bring in some stars. Looking for my smaller stars. Here we are. All right, so we want to bring back our words here. And for this one, I'm going to use the Sweet Cane Believe. And I'm just cutting them in straight lines, which is what I love about using a text like this. And then I'm going to grab some of my scraps, my black taffy scraps. And I'm going to layer that. And then I'm going to cut again. So simple. Like, I'm just going to cut a little border.
I love these cards. They're so fun.
They're so fun to make, and they're so easy to make too, and I think that's what makes it even more fun, right? It's like, oh, we don't have to overcomplicate things. We could just create a fun paper piece project like this.
And the best thing for you, there's no coloring.
And there's no coloring. And there doesn't have to be any coloring for it to look so amazing. Check it out, guys. So cute. So super fun. We're going to add some splattering and some dazzling pat here at the end. But look how cute that is. Believe. What an amazing card to send. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be for a holiday. It could just be like, you know what? I'm just sending you some positive vibes.
To believe.
To believe. And whatever, you know, whatever the need might be right
That's
now.
what you want to believe.
All right.
That's cute.
We're going to go ahead and jump over to our next one. And same thing. We're going to start to layer our clouds. I'm going to grab the biggest one. I'm going to go off the grid there. What a fun digi set. We're going to grab a star. And just the contrast of that looks amazing. The contrast of the white and the craft. Like being able to piece them out that way. So cool. All right, we're going to grab our Yeti. Now I'm at 2 foam squares to it. And again, I'm going to bring them off the grid here a bit. So cool. We're then going to grab our tree here. And he's going to be sticking out a little bit. Let's grab our chilling fox. He's just kind of like, hey, what's going on? Look how fun that's coming out.
Cute.
All right, we're going to grab our cheer out of our sweet cane. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to paper piece these together with a scrap of black taffy. And when in doubt,
Pop it out.
we're going to pop it out right on top of our Yeti cheer. Look how fun, guys.
So cute.
And the
So
background,
fun.
though, the background's just perfect for this Yeti. It's just absolutely
I think
perfect.
kids would love to receive these cards. They look so fun.
Yeah, like I think they're kid friendly, they're dude friendly.
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
definitely just a really cool. And I'm pretty sure ladies wouldn't feel like, oh, this is not cute if they got it in the mail. I think they'd think it would be fun.
Right. It's funny.
Mm. All right, we're going to come on over to our tags. And we do have a little strip for one of them. And I try to keep everything super simple this time. It's our very first 5 for 5, and I'm just trying things out, seeing how our community responds to it. Do they like workshops like this? Do they not? Like,
Also,
you know.
let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
too,
let us know if
what
this
you
is
think.
something that you find value in. We certainly don't want to do more than is necessary, or we don't want to use energy on something that doesn't benefit anyone. I can certainly just do these for myself.
Wow.
And, you know, I'm going to stick a little tree back here. So cute. I'm going to grab one of the clouds and bring them right underneath here. I actually stamped it direct. I mean, I adhered it direct to my background. And it's okay to go off the grid a little bit, guys. Don't feel afraid to like, oh, you know, I'm going off the grid. It looks so cute if you do. So just go off the grid a little bit on it. You're not going to hurt it. We're going to grab our little fox.
We have Ronnie that joined saying hello to all.
Hi, Ronnie.
Helen Smith says, awesome, love the digifile.
It's such a cute digifile, and it's so easy to, you know, teach a workshop with it, get others to feel that sense of accomplishment that comes with our craft. All right, I'm going to grab the Believe out of our powdered sugar. There are some things that are so important in red rubber, you know, background stamps, things like that. Other things, like images like this, you know, like oh yeah. Oops, sorry guys. So what we're gonna do is we've cut out our Believe, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to layer this on to another piece, another scrap of black taffy. It really just helps pop that sentiment. Guys, if you ended up not signing up to the 5 for 5, we made this public for everybody to enjoy. But if you ended up not, you can still pick up the digifile. If you want. And we're going to bring in our Believe right on top of the trees here, just like a little. Look how cute that turned out to be.
Cute taggy.
Cute tag. So we're going to add all the fluff here at the end, okay? So let's switch it over to a new tag. That we can still use because, you know, it's perfect for the holiday. And it's always a great opportunity to just kind of bring that digital file to life. And so I'm not the guy who's going to play with the SVGs and all that. There's a lot of you amazing digital makers out there who'd love to do things like that. I more love to create. I'm going to grab a punch, guys. I'm going to grab a punch. So this is 2.5 punch. And out of the scrap of sweet cane, I want to create like a moon type thing. Because I want to use the owl. So cool to use the owl. That's so fun. And then we're going to bring in another star. And not necessarily a moon itself, but like almost like a moon glow behind the moon. So I'm going to bring in a moon here. It's almost like a little glow behind that. So cool. let's go ahead and grab the word cheer. I just print out my digital files here on my printer at home. And I'm able to just kind of run my own cardstock through it. But some people I know grab the digi-file and just take it to their local print shop, whether it's a Staples or an Office Max or a Kinko's or whatever it might be. And they just have them printed for them. So whichever way is going to be easiest for you. You can actually bring your own cardstock. I sometimes do that if I'm doing it for, I actually added it to black and I shouldn't have. I should add it to Sweet Cane. Sorry guys, I'm just chatting away and I'm not paying attention.
Helen has a question here. She says, like, for her, she loves the digi, but her ladies in her group don't. Will you turn this one into a red rubber?
Probably not, Helen. Probably not. And I think mainly because especially for the 5 for 5, we wanted to make it easy for people to be able to craft without feeling like they're spending a lot of money all the time, especially right now during COVID. I know it could be a little difficult for some people. So probably not.
Here's a question from Pam. Says, I noticed that your offsets seem to be smaller than what cut out on my scan and cut. Did you cut the offset down?
You mean the border on the outside of the image? Is that what you mean? Help me understand what you mean by offset so that I can answer it properly. Or what are we talking about?
I didn't quite get it, so maybe you would have understood.
Okay, so that is our second tag. Look how cute these are, guys. So cute. We are going to work on our Yeti tag now. And let me know. I want to answer your question, so we're going to add our Yeti. Look how cool he looks right on there. Perfect. It's absolutely perfect for like a, a tag for a gift or...
You said yes. So
yeah. So my offset spacing on my scan and cut was at a -4. I mean, at a +4. Now, my question to you is, did you use the outline version or did you use the regular PDF? Because there is a difference, yeah. If you use the regular PDF, you were going to want to go negative versus if you just use the regular if you use the outline PDF, you're going to want to go negative. But if you use the regular PDF, you want to go positive.
That's because if it's the outline, you have to go inside.
Correct.
Right?
You want to be on the other side of the outline. And I'd be more than happy to show you that at the end if that is the real question.
Yes, she said yes, the border. That's what she meant.
Okay, but did she use the outline version or did you use the outline version or did you use the regular PDF? We're gonna add some adhesive here. And we're going to layer this onto black taffy. So cool, guys. Again, if you are just kind of joining us for the live, feel free, guys. If you want to access the digital file, it's only $5 for the digital file and this workshop. We decided to make it live and public in case anybody just needs inspiration. because originally it was going to be a free workshop, but I wasn't going to include a digital file so detailed. It was just going to be like a onesie thing, but I decided to make it extra special. I'm going to come in here and just add, I'm going to cut off my stem, my tree trunk.
So Pam said, yes, that is the question. My border is outside the black line.
So, did you use the outline version? Can you print that out for me
No.
so I can show them the difference? Hold on one second. Is it Pam?
Yeah.
Hold on one second, Pam. I will explain both of those to you in a second, okay? So don't you worry. One of each, so I can explain the difference. All right, so we have all these fun pieces left over for more projects. But look how cute that last tag turned out. Okay, super cute. So we've got all of our projects here. Now what we want to do is we want to splatter them, add a couple of extra bells and whistles. We definitely have our twine that we want to add and our ribbon. But the first thing we're going to add is a little bit of black splattering. I love the idea of adding some more of what makes these projects come alive. So I'm going to grab some black dye, ink, and using a regular brush, a splatter brush, I'm just going to come in and I'm going to go ahead and add some of the splatters here to all my projects. Just adds a little extra. We're going to want that to dry before we come back with some Dazzling Pat. I did Dazzling Pat in Sweet Cane. Again, Dazzling Pat comes clear, and to add any color, we just add our re-inkers, so our sugar drops to Dazzling Pat, just a couple of drops will get you Dazzling Pat in all of our colors. So we have I have one for every single color. And then you shake that to move the sparkle dust that's at the bottom of that page. I'm sorry, at the bottom of the bottle. And let's go ahead and help our black ink dry. The reason why you want the black or the white ink to dry when we use white sometimes is that if Dazzling Pat lands on it, it's going to make it black, and you don't want that. You want the black splatter to stay in place, and you want the Dazzling Pat to stay sparkly in whatever color you chose, or natural if you didn't want to add any color to it. All right, so now we're going to shake up our Dazzling Pat bottle. And we're going to add that sparkle. It just really ties in your project beautifully. And that's funny, one landed in his mouth.
Now that I'm looking at my cutouts, my scan and cut directly on the outline.
Yeah, hold on one second. I'm going to explain that to you guys here in a minute. All right, let me zoom in. And we'll let it adjust. Here is our first project. Cheer.
Cheer.
Perfect for your last minute needs. Believe. I love this so much. Now we have our tags that just need the ribbon and the twine. Look, one landed in his mouth like he's eating snow.
Oh, wow.
That's so cute. I don't know how I did that, guys. So, believe. And last but not least, cheer. It's such a fun set, guys. Such a fun set. All right, so I'm going to explain a couple of things while these are drying a little bit. All right, so when you print out your regular PDF file, this is what it looks like. This is your regular PDF, the one we use today. And you'll notice that this type of artwork is just line work. So everything's pretty solid. It makes it super easy for the scan and cut to pick up. We offer all of our digi files. So when you get this file, you also get this file. And so this particular file is outline. What that means is there's an additional line that follows the shape of your image. So this is the one without the outline. This is the one without the outline. This is the one with the outline. That's the difference between the two files, okay? So if you're going to use the scan and cut, this is a good one to use, except for you have to go negative on the scan and cut. You saw that we cut this earlier, but we went positive because there was no cut line. This doesn't have a cut line. So once this image is scanned in, it identifies this line as the cut line. Excuse me. But we don't want to cut on that line because it's going to cut into our image a little bit. We want to cut on the outside of this if we're using this file. But if we're using this file, then we don't want to cut on this line. We want to be on the inside. So all we get is the mark. So for example, you saw me cut the other file earlier. Now I'm going to cut this one for you so that you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully that helps, especially if you're a little bit newer to me or you haven't seen this demonstrated before. I'm going to grab my mat again and I'm going to kind of highlight. I don't want the words again, mainly because, well, you know what? I can leave them. I'm going to leave them. I'm going to leave them just so that you can see what it does. I don't need them anymore, but we'll go ahead and place that down. I like to put a little bit of tape, but I don't like to recycle this tape, okay? So just know that for reference. I don't like to recycle the tape that I use to hold my borders down because I don't trust it. So once I've used it once, I kind of toss it. I don't want it to get rolled in my machine. All right, so we've got that on there. We're going to go ahead and scan it in. Sorry for those of you guys who have seen this a million times, but I think it's important that we cover. It's a good refresher. We're going to go ahead and load our mat. Let me zoom out a little bit, guys, and then I'll zoom back in. All right, the first thing we want to do is we want to scan the image in. So direct to cut to the machine, and we're going to start that scan. And then I'm going to zoom in on my screen here in a minute. I'm going to zoom in. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to work around my... All right. So I'm going to zoom in here. So we got that. Check. Okay. Yep. We're going to hit OK. It picked up all of the outside cut line. You see that it picked up the outside cut line, including the cheer. If you look at the cheer and you look at the words, those are not solid. So that's why having an outline helps the machine identify where you want to cut. So now I'm just going to zero in a little bit on my page so that it doesn't try to cut the tape, you know, around where the tape is, or those are not actual images, okay? So now it zeroes in on my images. The next thing I want to do is I want to go to this little target symbol, okay? Now, if this file were this file without an outline, no outlines on this one, see how it has no outlines around the words, then I would want to, we're going to hit the little target symbol, and then we're going to want to go positive 4 if it has no outline. But in this case, this is an outline, so we want to go negative, and we might want to go negative all the way up to 5 or 6. So let's go 5. So -5 is going to cut on the inside of the cut line so that all you have is a white border. So we're going to get OK. We're going to go OK again, and we're going to go cut. Now we're going to start. So now it should cut without that black outline, but still keep my image intact. So I hope that makes sense. We have multiple types of file. We have the PDF, we have the SVG, and we have the outline version. The outline version is for people who have scan and cuts, and it just makes it so much easier to identify where the cut should be. It also helps you cut out things like the words and things like that. So that just really helps out with things like that help identify where the cut line should be. Excuse me. Alright guys, while that's cutting out, I'm going to come back and add the fluff to my tags. And whatever ribbon you want to use, I happen to have this really cool brown gingham.
Yeah, that made perfect sense.
Perfect. Yay, I'm so glad to hear that. Alright guys, so now that this is cut, we'll come back, and remember, I don't keep the tape. And we'll remove that, and look, what's left behind here, let me put it behind a darker cardstock, is the outline. Do you see how the black line that we had as the outline is left behind on your cardstock? Because it cut inside of that cut line. So now all of your images are perfectly cut with no cut line.
Makes it so much easier. Here.
You see that? So easy. So for example, the scan and cut could never pick this up unless it has a cut line. So that's why we make the files available with a cut line, so that if you have a scan and cut or something like that, that you can easily I'm not as savvy and familiar with other machines. So like, for example, the Cricut or, you know, the Silhouette. So I know most of my people who use those use the SVG file, not necessarily the outline version, but we still create the outline version for everyone. And we have all these pieces ready for other projects. Yeah. All right, so we'll go back and finish our taggies. Hopefully that was helpful.
Pam says yes, and thank you for sharing that.
You're so welcome, Pam. Thanks for asking the questions, because sometimes that's what makes this important. You know, it doesn't help if we're not learning something new.
Right.
So,
Or if
all
you
right.
need help.
Yeah, or if you need help, I want to be able to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just come in here, and I'm going to do a double knot. We've definitely got way more twine than I need here, so hold on one second. You want the bow to be towards the front. And I just kind of looped my thicker ribbon. And now I'm just going to do a double knot and a bow. So double knot and a bow. Super cute. Ready for the holiday. And we're going to do that for all 3 projects. How was it, guys? Did you enjoy today's workshop? I should probably split these in 2.
So Pam's asking another question. Will a border cut around the words on the SVG file using +4, or does it need a border?
So I'm not as familiar, Pam, with how people use the SVG files to cut. I don't know if Ben's mom's still on here, but she uses her Silhouette all the time. What machine are you using, a Scan and Cut or a Silhouette? Because I don't use the SVG file.
I think she's using the Scan and Cut.
Okay, so if you're using the Scan and Cut, you can just print out the file and then it scans it in.
Oh, so Helen Smith said yes, so maybe
okay, good.
Yeah. She's a savage. She's what? A savvy.
A savage. She was going to call you a savage,
No.
Helen.
No, that is not what I was going to say. That's funny. Find that replay.
Perfect. So double knot and then just a bow on the top creates these gorgeous tags for your last minute projects or gifts. Actually, we have some cookies that we're going to take to the neighbors, and I think this is a cute little tag to add to the cookie. The holidays are here yet again. So cute. They'll love that. All right, so we've got our 3 tags and our 2 cards, and here is our first 5 for 5 workshop completed. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of today's 5 for 5. We hope that you found it helpful and that you're inspired to create, to make amazing happen, and to bring paper to life. We definitely want to wish you all Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for continuing to subscribe to our channel, for continuing to give us a thumbs up, a like, and share our channel with your creative community. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you loved the workshop. Remember, if you have not signed up for the workshop, you can go to the website at richardgaray.com. Under events, you'll be able to find the 5 for 5 workshop, and you can download your Yeti Cheer digital file, digital stamp. You can print it out as a PDF. You can use the SVG format, or you can use the outline version that we just showed you how to use. Guys, thanks again. Happy holidays. Thank you so much for being a part of our story, and we can't wait to share next month's 5 for 5 workshop. Until next time, adios.